Mazuma TV back in the building, man. What's going on, y'all? Shout out to Mazuma Nation. Shout out to the Mazuma Mob. We in the building as always, man. Back at y'all with my second video of the day, man. We gonna touch on this topic with David Benavidez and Canelo Alvarez. You know what I'm saying? It seems like David Benavidez has had enough of the bullshit from Canelo Alvarez. You know what I'm saying? If y'all really haven't been keeping up or whatever, I'm gonna just provide some background info. David Benavidez, 168-pound WBC interim champion, who's also won the title on two separate occasions, but both times he has lost the belt, it wasn't inside of the ring, but for what he did outside of the ring. One time for recreational drugs, and then another time for missing weight on the scale during the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? But since then, man, he's been making weight. He's been a professional, you know what I mean? People make mistakes and stuff like that. He's a young guy, you know, so I give him the benefit of the doubt, and he's been shining like a diamond since then. You know what I'm saying? And really beating all the guys that he needs to be in order to get this ultimate opportunity against Saul Canelo Alvarez, who's been at the top of the game for a pretty long time now and is currently the undisputed champion at super middleweight. You know what I'm saying? David Benavidez feels that he's been avoided by Canelo Alvarez, rightfully so, because, you know, there's been plenty of people that have gotten opportunities to fight Canelo Alvarez who wasn't as worthy as David Benavidez, in my opinion. You know what I mean? As far as bringing Jermell Charlo up 2 weight classes and bringing middleweights up to super middleweight. And I think there was an interesting statistic that has said that Canelo Alvarez, since he's became undisputed, has not defended his titles against a full-fledged super middleweight fighter. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's pretty apparent at this point in time that Saul Canelo Alvarez is just looking to make the biggest paydays for the lowest amount of risk. You know what I mean? And Canelo Alvarez has came out with a statement recently saying that David Benavidez doesn't bring any money to the table or anything like that, you know, and the only thing he really brings to the table is putting on 25 pounds overnight, you know. Then went on to say that, you know, he can't offer me no money, you know what I mean? He can't offer me a deal, but if a promoter were to offer me $150 to $200 million, then he'll fight David Benavidez tomorrow. So with that little statement right there, he's letting you know that, you know, he has some concerns with David Benavidez in terms of his rehydration process, and is letting you know that the price tag for that fight, you know, isn't enough for him. You know, he might feel like that David Benavidez is too much of a risk, and he said that money that they had offered him, he could have gotten with anybody. You see what I mean? So it just looks like he set his price tag. He need 9 figures for David Benavidez, which lets you ultimately know that, you know, he considers David Benavidez a threat. You know what I'm saying? And he knows there's a possibility that he might come up short in that fight, or at least be in an extremely grueling fight. You know what I mean? So since these comments, man, David Benavidez has definitely gotten frustrated. So he took to social media and said something along the lines of, yo, like, you keep saying that, you know, I'm a nobody and I have nothing to offer. If that's the case, then why are you trying to get $150 million, $200 million to fight me if I'm worth nothing? You know what I'm saying? He said, hopefully you get that $150 million, and once you get that, maybe you'll be able to buy a pair of balls. Yo, I read that shit like 3-4 times, bro, and I laughed every time because, you know, you don't never really hear Canelo Alvarez get spoken to like that. You see what I mean? There's plenty of people that have gotten opportunities with Canelo Alvarez and have been extremely humble about it, you know, or, you know, whenever they talk about Canelo Alvarez, it seems like they're speaking about him like in a nice manner, you know, admiring the man from a distance or whatever. We seen Jermell Charlo, who typically trash talks everybody, face Canelo Alvarez and had very little to say. Even with Canelo Alvarez trash talking him, he's had very little to say. So David Benavidez, a young kid on the block, is coming out and he talking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much saying that Canelo Alvarez don't got no nuts, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no balls. You feel me? So pause, of course. So he pretty much saying that man a coward. He's scared, you know, and I feel like David Benavidez has every right to feel that way, bro. Just put yourself in David Benavidez's shoes for once. You know what I'm saying? You the #1 guy at super middleweight that's not Canelo Alvarez, right? You got the WBC interim title. You know what I'm saying? The WBC keeps giving you all types of reassurance that they're going to make you the mandatory to fight Canelo. You know what I mean? They told you late last year that in March that they were going to mandate you to fight Canelo, and if he wouldn't fight you, they would strip him. You know, it's about to be April now. You know what I'm saying? It's currently March 21st, and, you know, they've done nothing about it. You know what I mean? The WBC going back on their word, and a lot of these sanctioning bodies aren't going to stand up for David Benavidez because, you know, Canelo Alvarez brings a nice check to the table in terms of sanctioning fees. So I believe whatever the percentage is, let's say it's 3%, they would rather have 3% of Canelo Alvarez's purse than 3% of David Benavidez's purse. So it doesn't really make business sense to them to really strip Canelo and give it over to David Benavidez, because that'll be a pay cut at the end of the day. You know, just politics, business, you know what I mean, money. That's all it really is at the end of the day. They feel like they can make more money off Canelo Alvarez, so they want him to keep that belt as long as possible. You feel me? So being in David Benavidez's shoes, you know, being a victim to the politics, a victim to the business of boxing, of course you're going to be frustrated, man. You beating everybody that you need to beat, man. You putting on sensational performances. You got a common opponent in Canelo Alvarez. You defeat him as well. You know, Jaime Munguia fought John Ryder. You know what I mean? And was able to get the Canelo Alvarez opportunity. You feel me? And Canelo Alvarez says that, you know, I know I said I wouldn't fight Mexicans, but, you know, Jaime Munguia is respectful. You know, he's a good, pretty much start speaking good on his character and saying that he was respectful. So what are you insinuating, that David Benavidez is disrespectful? You know what I mean? Why the fuck does it even matter? There's plenty of people that disrespected you to your face and you still fought them. You see what I mean? You fought Caleb Plant. He called you a cheat, a drug cheat, and then called your trainer a fat bitch right in front of your face. That man done landed. That man done made contact with your face trying to open hand slap you. You know what I mean? And you still fought him. So you being discouraged by some type of trash talk, I don't know what the situation is, but regardless, man, I feel for David Benavidez. You know what I mean? I know that he's real hungry for that spotlight, for that opportunity. You know, he just wants to be the man. You know what I mean? And when you got that competitive spirit in you and you truly want to be the best, you know, it got to be frustrating to, you know, be deserving of a title shot or deserving of an opportunity. And it seems like they just keep passing you up. You know what I mean? And it's not only Canelo Alvarez that's passing him up. There's also these sanctioning bodies. You know what I mean? And PBC, you know, despite, you know, David Benavidez being with PBC, it seems like PBC isn't really pushing as hard as they need to get David Benavidez in position to face Canelo Alvarez. How do I know that? Because they're bringing somebody from outside of PBC to fight Canelo Alvarez, Jaime Munguia. You know what I mean? I was under the impression that since it was a PBC deal, that they wouldn't give the best PBC fighters for Canelo Alvarez to face. But maybe there was some preconceived notion that, you know, he'll fight certain dudes. You know what I mean? And that's just what it was going to be. And I guess David Benavidez wasn't on their list. So yeah, David Benavidez out here. He's frustrated, of course, you know, and he talking that talk to Canelo Alvarez, which I believe needs to be done more often. You know what I mean? I hope David Benavidez stays on his ass, pause, you know, and continues to disrespect him. You know what I mean? Keep calling him out. Put that pressure on him to the point where the media continuously asks Canelo Alvarez about him. Keep your name attached to his. And hopefully in September, you know, Canelo Alvarez folds to that pressure. You know what I mean? And we could get that fight on and popping on Mexican Independence Weekend. You feel me? Hopefully them Saudis hear what Canelo Alvarez is saying and put that bread up. You know what I mean? Pull his card. See if he would bite on that price tag of $150 to $200 million. Let's see if he really about that, man. And continuously apply pressure on you. If that's truly what you want, you know what I mean? If that's really your goal, you got to chase it relentlessly, regardless of what the answer is being told to you as of right now. Canelo Alvarez could say no, could say no, could say no. But if you continuously apply pressure, you might be able to sway that man's opinion, you know what I mean? Especially if he's getting the pressure from the media and boxing fans and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So be relentless, man. Be relentless. That's all I got to say for David Benavidez. But I understand his frustration nonetheless, man, and I'm backing him 1,000%. Canelo Alvarez don't got no type of backbone, bro. He definitely need to take that next Jaime Munguia paycheck and buy him a sack. You know what I'm saying? Because he ain't standing on no type of business. You know what I mean? He acting like a little fucking girl. You know what I mean? And he does not approach shit how a real man should. But that's my opinion on the whole situation, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this here. This is Mazuma TV. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm out of here, man. Peace.